Hello, guys, and welcome to the SE Scoops YouTube channel. My name is Jay Shell, and I have a super special guest here with us today. He is a member of the Blackpool Combat Club, but he is also the ROH Pure Champion. I'm here with Wheeler Yuta. Wheeler, how are you doing?
Doing great. Excited to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yes, I want to start with the Massachusetts area because that's
Mhm.
obviously where Death Before Dishonor is. Last time you were in Mass, you had an incredible career-defining match with Moxley. Can you speak a little bit about what that match meant to you and how you feel about returning to that area where the match happened?
Yeah, I'm really excited to be back in that area of Massachusetts. We'll be in Lowell for Death Before Dishonor, and then right after that, we'll be in Worcester for Dynamite. So I'm really excited for both of those. Before I got to AEW, I made a lot of my mark on the independents around that area. So it was really cool to have that match with Moxley in that crowd. Um, Seeing a lot of familiar faces was really nice, and yeah, that was really the career defining match for me. It's what sort of kick-started where we're going now, and I'm really excited for what the future holds, but it wouldn't have happened without that match.
Yes, I was there in person for that match. It was definitely my favorite match of the night. It definitely got the whole wrestling world buzzing. Everyone saw your potential from that match, and obviously they saw the progression of the match that you had with Moxley. You've worked with Moxley a couple times now. What is it like to be in the ring with him, and kind of what is it like to have him have your back now, especially that you're in the Blackpool Combat Club?
Yeah, there's something different when Moxley comes out. It's kind of a surreal experience, and I felt that both from being in the ring, watching it happening, and then also as him as my teammate. So it's very it's very comforting to have him on my side now instead of against me. But no, Moxley just brings things to another level, and he did that for me. He did that for me in that match you mentioned before, and I think he's done that for a lot of people. He just had a match with Takeshita recently that was awesome, and Moxley just he's got another gear that he's trying to sort of impart that wisdom on me now. So I think that's my next thing is to find that next step, that next level. And guys like Moxley, Danielson, Castagnoli, they all have it. So that's what I need to find.
Yes, I do want to talk about Claudio because he recently made his debut at Forbidden Door. What was your reaction to him, one, first joining the company, and two, joining the group that you're participating in?
Yeah, Claudio was someone that I've always really had a lot of respect for as a wrestler. He's incredible. Yeah, he's someone that I've really appreciated, and knowing that he ended Regal's career, it only made sense that he would be someone that could fit in with our club. He does our style.
Yes.
He can do so many things. He's absolutely incredible. So it's really great to have him now as a mentor, as someone that I can talk to on my team. So hopefully learn from, and it's been just great to have him here so far.
Yes, he is definitely an amazing addition to the Blackpool Combat Club. But I do quickly want to talk about your time in ROH before the sale to Tony Khan and before your time in AEW. You spent some time having some Pure Rules matches down there. So you obviously have some background in Pure Rules matches beyond just being the champion. But how does it feel now to be able to defend that belt on shows like Dark and Dark Elevation so regularly with a vast amount of competitors?
It's really been special to me that I've been able to defend the Ring of Honor Pure Championship. For one thing, it kind of felt like a chapter of my career that I never got to sort of complete. Like I had a very brief stint in Ring of Honor.
Yeah.
It was all through the pandemic, so I never got to have a Ring of Honor crowd. Even it was all empty arena, so it felt like something that I could check it off the bucket list. It's always something I wanted to do, but I didn't feel like I really reached my potential. So when Tony bought Ring of Honor, and I was able to re-enter that world. It was really exciting. So now being able to defend the Pure Championship, it feels like I'm sort of coming full circle with that, sort of completing that chapter. And additionally, just the people that have held it before me, the legacy of the championship is something that's really special, and I'm really happy to be a part of it.
Yeah, there is an immense legacy behind that belt. I I also want to quickly move over back to BCC. I know we just talked about it, but you have four amazing new mentors. Can you share a single lesson that you've learned from them, or something that you think would help other wrestlers out there that might not be able to sit under the learning tree of these four legends?
Yeah, there's countless like little techniques that they've shown me, and I could go on for days about that. But I think the main thing that we've talked about is just the mindset of knowing that when you're in the ring, you're trying to win, you're trying to hurt that guy. For us in the Blackpool Combat Club, our things we're trying to leave a mark on you, trying to leave a scar. So whether it's a literal scar that you see on your forehead, or maybe it's a limp, maybe it's something that you get up every day and you go, oh wow, I wish those guys hadn't done that to me. That's the mindset. So that's what we really try to focus on, and that's been the biggest lesson they've taught me.
Yeah, that's amazing. I remember watching Jade Cargill had a little documentary about her day, and we saw a clip of her working with Red Velvet and William Regal and Bryan Danielson before an AEW show. Have you attended these training sessions, or can you even talk about what it's like just training with any of the BCC members, even if it's not in one of those scenarios?
Yeah, those training classes are a weekly occurrence. So we're there every week. It's Regal, it's Brian, it's the BCC, and we're running class, we're training, we're learning, and yeah, that's something they really instill is you have to prepare. So every little piece of information they can give me, I try to get, and we do that every week.
Uh, I also kind of want to talk about your transition from the independents, like you talked about before, to working on TV regularly. After you won the championship, you became All Elite. But how was your transition from the independents to working AEW full time? Do you have any lessons that you could share or tips to somebody that might be looking to make that transition?
Yeah, making that transition was very interesting for me. I think AEW's created this. I guess other companies have done it before, but AEW's really allowed people to still work independence. So being able to kind of do both at the same time was really cool for me, where I was at in my career. So that sort of helped the transition. But yeah, there's definitely things that are different on television. The pacing of the show is so different because you have to account for different things on TV versus when you're just at a independent show where you only have to really concern with the live crowd because that's your main customer base that you're trying to please. So it's very different, but I think being able to do both was really cool for me in AEW.
Yeah, and I the way I kind of imagine your era of wrestlers right now kind of includes Daniel Garcia, who obviously you'll be having a match with very soon, Lee
Yeah.
Moriarty, Takeshita, kind of this new crop of talent who AEW is really beginning to invest in.
Mhm.
So what is it like to kind of be this new era of wrestling while you're seeing so many legends like Sting and Arn Anderson is obviously back there and Paul White and everybody like that to be able to get knowledge from them, but also to be able to grow with your peers who you've worked the independence with as well.
Yeah, I think that AEW is just such a incredible melting pot of different people from different generations, different mentalities on wrestling. So it's really cool to see the variety that brings in the show. But yeah, being able to have these legends is absolutely incredible. I mostly focus on working with Regal and focusing on that kind of mindset. But there's so many people to offer so many different perspectives, and it's really helpful to have all those legends there. And it's really surreal to be coworkers with these guys. It's incredible.
Yes, I could imagine like growing up, you watched a bunch of these people on TV,
Yeah.
and now you're backstage with them, like traveling the country and probably soon the world, just going to all these different shows and things like
Mhm.
that. Uh, I want to ask, I always like to get a little bit personal. What does your day off look like? Your day off, or days off, depending on what your schedule is like. What do you like to do to take care of yourself, especially as wrestlers, especially if you're on social media? I can imagine the toll that it takes on your body and your mental health. So, what do you do to take care of yourself and give back to yourself?
Yeah, I really like to relax. I usually wind up spending a lot of the day on the couch, but I like to go to the gym. Play some video games. Been playing a lot of MLB The Show. Go for a walk around the neighborhood. But yeah, I just like to kind of decompress and separate from everything. But of course, you can't relax for too long. You have to get back on the grind. You have to focus on studying for that next opponent, getting prepared to get back on the road. So try to take the moments when you can to sort of detach, but they're short.
Yes, of course. I do want to speak a little bit about your opponent that you have coming up at Death Before Dishonor. You definitely have some history with each other as you went to a 60-minute draw for the Independent Wrestling World Championship. Does it give you more confidence to go into this match knowing that you're familiar with his style and his abilities?
Yeah, definitely going into this match, I'm more confident than the first one. We went 60 minutes, but that's actually the only time Garcia and I have ever had a singles match. The only time we've ever interacted in a match would be Blood and Guts.
Mhm.
So it's definitely going to be something that I'm excited for, and I think we do know each other a lot better now. But I'm excited to see where the return match goes. I don't know if it'll go the full 60 minutes, but I think with the pure rules, it'll be an interesting factor as well that I think fits in very well with both of our styles. So very excited for that.
Yeah. Yeah, about the pure rules stipulation or match style, do you have any specific tips or tricks that you've had to learn about maneuvering around the amount of rope breaks you have or not being able to throw closed fist punches, all of those things?
Yeah, you really just need to take those rules that could be weaknesses and turn them into advantages. So, like for example, the punch one, you just sort of have to change up the strikes that you're using. If you know that you can't punch, then maybe use a forearm, maybe use an uppercut, a kick, a knee. So, changing your strategy is very difficult for that, but it's a lot of fun as well. And then, of course, like the rope breaks, you have to do different things. Like maybe it's a weakness because you can't get out of submissions, but maybe you turn that into a strength where you exhaust your opponents and then you can use the ropes. You can do rope assisted submissions, that different things that you can't do in normal wrestling matches. So just taking those rules and making them advantages instead of weaknesses.
Yeah, and I feel like also when you have pure rules matches, you have to adjust to the different styles because even though it's all under one branch of the pure rules, there's different
Mhm.
wrestlers and they adjust to different styles under pure rules. Like Josh Woods, I would say wrestles completely different than a Daniel Garcia does.
Yeah.
So heading in, what are your expectations for this match? How do you plan to kind of light a fire under yourself to finally defeat him and hopefully put an end to your rivalry?
Well, I think it's interesting that it's under pure rules. I think pure rules people think of a very sportsman-like contest, but I think that this one's going to get gritty. It's going to get dirty. It's going to get violent. So I think that the key to winning this match is just who's willing to go the extra mile. Of course, we do have those rules, but who can take those rules and, like I said, make them advantages, use them to hurt your opponent as opposed to having them be weaknesses or restrictions. So I think that's what we're going to have to do, and we'll see who the better man is, and hopefully, at the end of this, we'll have a satisfying conclusion, and we'll know.
Yes. Are you expecting to have any of your BCC brothers accompany you at ringside or have any of them supporting you at the show?
I'm not entirely sure yet. I wouldn't rule it out. I have a feeling Mr. Regal may be there, but don't want to don't want to reveal too much.
Yes,
But
of course,
we'll
of
see.
course. Yes. Like you said, you recently participated in Blood and Guts, which is obviously a brutal and grueling match. How did you prepare for that match? How did you recover from that match? Obviously, we're not too far out from it. It happened just a little bit ago.
Yeah, the recovery was definitely hard. Just a lot of kind of waiting for things to heal. But
Yeah.
getting prepared for that match was just knowing that you're going into a fight, knowing that you're gonna have to hurt people. You're gonna get hurt. It's not gonna be fun. You're just gonna have to go in there and give it all you got. So just having that mentality going in, I think, was the biggest thing. We've done all the physical preparation. We've done everything we can do. So going into that match, it was just the mental preparation of knowing uh, not to be scared by the structure, just knowing you're going to get hurt, but you're going to hurt people. And I think that's how we won.
Yes. You have an amazing string. You had an amazing string of suplexes in that match, and also the match at Forbidden Door. Is that something that you're looking to kind of solidify as um, a move in your arsenal that you can always turn back to? Your suplexes will kind of be like your crutch if necessary. Is that something that you're looking to solidify?
I've always loved a good German suplex, I'll say. I think that using the repeated Germans has been very good for me, and I think I'll probably continue to do it. Maybe now and again, I'll just do a single German, trying to get a quick pin with the bridge. I do think that I have a good German with a bridge, but yeah, I think you'll see a little bit more of that, but not always. We'll see.
Yeah, your match at Forbidden Door was amazing. What was it like to be able to compete on a show with talent from across the globe?
It was absolutely incredible. Of course, I'd just come back from Best of the Super Juniors, but on that tour, there was a lot more of the junior heavyweights. So the heavyweights sort of came in towards the end. There were some that were on the tour with us the whole time, but I got to meet a lot of the new guys, and being in just that atmosphere, that crowd was just red hot. The cast in that match, the cast of characters, like, could you imagine that match? Just existing. But it
Yeah.
was incredible in front of that red hot crowd, and I think that we really did something special with Forbidden Door, and I hope that it's something that continues because I think that only good things can come from this relationship.
If you were able to choose your opponent for a second Forbidden Door, who would you want to face? It could be singles or in like a trios tag, whatever you like.
I think there's a lot of people that I'd like to face. Right now, there are two specific people that I'd like to have revenge on for losses in Super Juniors. One of them is Robbie Eagles. I lost in my first match in Best of Super Juniors, and I think that I would have a great pure wrestling match with him. So I'd love to put the pure championship on the line. And another would be El Desperado, another member of Suzuki-gun. Again, lost to him in Best of Super Juniors. He had the best of me that night, but I think that with a rematch, maybe with that championship on the line, it would be really special. So if there's ever another Forbidden Door, I'd love for either of those matches.
I'm manifesting all of that energy for you.
Thank you. Thank you.
I want to ask a little bit about your trios action. Obviously, you were in a trios match at Forbidden Door, but before Danielson got injured, you were participating in some trios match with Mox and Danielson. What was it like to get to tag with them, and like what have you learned about tag team wrestling since working with them?
Yeah, it was very interesting because I actually, when I first got into AEW, I was doing a lot of 6-man tags with Orange Cassidy and Chuck Taylor, but it's a very different style what we're doing in the Blackpool Combat Club. Mm-hmm. So really getting kind of like taught lessons. Like it's a 6-man tag match, so 2 of us are on the apron. So when I'm out of the ring, either Danielson or Moxley is there telling me, look at that technique, cutting off the ring there, doing that here, repositioning here. So I'm getting like live coaching as it's going on in a very different style than what I was doing before in 6-man tag matches. So it's been incredible to have those matches, and hopefully we have more once Danielson comes back or with Claudio.
Yeah, that's an amazing opportunity with Claudio as well. In terms of your former best friendship with the best friends, is that a bridge that is completely burned, or do you feel like eventually you guys can like make up and you guys can do some cool stuff together?
I've said it before. I think Trent hates me, and I don't like him either. But other than that, I have no animosity, no ill will towards the best friends. I think it was an amicable split.
Yeah. I talked to Chris Stat, and Chris still loves you, so I think you guys are fine.
Yeah. I think we're all good. We're still friends. We're just not teammates anymore.
You're not best friends anymore.
I think we are. We hang out. But we're just not teammates.
Okay, that's fair. So maybe if we can like arrange for it to be the best friends again, minus Trent. Yeah. Maybe Trent can go play with Rocky, and then you can go be with the best friends again.
Yeah, he's really driving the wedge in between us. But I really like what I have going with the Blackpool Combat Club, so I think I'm going to stick there for now.
Yes, of course. I was just wondering because obviously that was kind of what brought you into AEW and made you kind of a featured player. Obviously now you're even more featured and you're on TV more. I just wanted to see how you're able to kind of hold up your end of the bargain and kind of compete against the spotlight stealers of Moxley, Danielson, Claudio, and Regal.
Yeah, I think that one thing that's really helping is I don't think any particular guy is looking for the spotlight. I think it's a mentality of trying to make everyone better. I really genuinely feel like the other members of the Blackpool Combat Club just want what's best for me as a professional wrestler and are trying to make me the best wrestler I can be. And I think that's through tough love, but I think that that's what we're doing. So I really think that they're helping me uphold my end of the bargain, and they're making me a better wrestler. So one day I'll be able to hopefully be just as good, if not better than all of them.
Yes, I kind of do want to circle back to the original promo that kind of started it all for BCC. You were mentioned along with Garcia as somebody who was a possible prospect for the club. Does that matter to you at all heading into this match that it could have been Garcia in your spot, or that he could have been in the club with you?
I think about it a lot. Daniel,
or even Moriarty.
Yeah, and Lee as well. I think about that a lot. Daniel, Lee, and I have known each other for a long time. I think that we have been great opponents for each other on the independents, and I think that we're destined to wrestle each other for a very long time. So I definitely thought, like, wow, what would it be like if these guys were alongside me? Because I think we're all cut from the same cloth. And, of course, Daniel Garcia goes his own way. I don't necessarily agree with it. I don't know if he's a sports entertainer. I think he's a professional wrestler. But he goes his own way. Lee's gone his own way. And I think that we're just going to continue to fight for a very long time. So I'm excited to see where the rivalry goes if the teammates, if the team thing doesn't pan out.
I feel like there's a major money triple threat between the three of you on like a big show. Like in like 3 or 4 years, I feel like it's a big match on Double or Nothing.
It's almost
And
happened a few times, not in AEW, but it's almost happened a few times. But I think one of these days it will.
it has to. It's like the destiny. It's just creeping up. It's like all about the perfect timing, the perfect moment. Um, but I lastly want to ask if you have any final parting words for your opponent at Death Before Dishonor, Daniel Garcia.
Daniel, I know that this is a pure rules match. This is about pure wrestling. But I think that you and I both know that this is going to get violent. This is going to get ugly, and we're going to prove who the better man is. So I'll shake your hand before, I'll shake your hand after. But this is personal, and I need to beat you. So I'm going to retain my championship and do what it takes.
Yes, I am so excited. I will see you at Death Before Dishonor. Let the people know where they can find you and all of that good stuff.
Yeah, you can find me at Wheeler Yuta on Twitter and Instagram. That's mostly where I'm at. I'm not the most active, but a little bit more on Instagram. So yeah, check me out on either of those.
Yes, make sure to go follow him. Check out all of my writing on SC Scoops as well, of course. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Check out Death Before Dishonor, and then also watch Dynamite and Rampage, of course. Thank you so much for your time, and I hope that you guys have enjoyed this interview. Thank you. Bye, guys.